Geek Dad Life presents Toy Geeks, a live toy talk show. With the success of MOTU Origins and the Ghostbusters Kenner Classics and more, what toy line should be re-released next? We'll talk about that tonight, as well as the latest in toy news and John and I's latest toy hauls. All of that and more tonight on Toy Geeks. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Toy Geeks. My name is Jay, and with me, as always, Sunday nights at 9 p.m. is John. John, how you doing tonight, good sir?
I'm good. How are you, Jay?
I am doing well, feeling good. The sun is out. It's Pi Day. Happy Pi Day to you, sir. 3/14. I did not eat a pizza pie or a regular pie. I just realized now. You ever have those moments like the end of the day, it's like I've made a horrible mistake. I have missed my opportunity.
Yep.
But it's fine. And the thing is, it was just me and the boys today. So it was the perfect day to make bad decisions. Like, hey, kids, let's go get some pie.
Right. But then sometimes one bad decision rolls into another.
Exactly. But again, it's best to do those when the wife's not in town.
Yes.
And she doesn't know, unless you do a live toy talk show where you say said things and then she watches. And then you get in trouble anyway. Anywho, excited to be here. The topic must have a lot of people wanting to chat because a whole bunch of comments on this video before we even started today. So I'll try to make sure when we do get to our, what toy lines do we want to be re-released section of this episode, we can come back to here as well. But tons and tons of people already in the chat. I'll try to go through quickly. El Buffalo, Baducci Studios, Automatom, Kevin Lawson, Darth Dwayne, Heedy Dubs in the house, Roscoe, good to see you again. Damned Ash, Alan, Jay Griffiths, Toy Doc, Nightmare, Riley Bob, Carrot Collector, Adam Smedberg, Damien, CAF, Alex Martinez, James Zembecki, Gamaliel, All Music, Riley Bob, Beast Wars, Bullwinkle, Damien Yee. I think that's every at this moment. I'm sure more will come in. But anywho, thank you all of you for joining John and I tonight. This is one of my favorites, if not my favorite. Well, now I have a wife and children, but this is like outside of all of those moments that are special. This is one of my favorite things of the week. So excited.
Mine as well.
John, I know we're not at Toy Halls yet, but I can't help but notice you got some stuff there behind you.
It's piled up in my office. I literally had nowhere else to put it. And I figured it's easy just when we start doing toy hauls where I can just kind of move out of the way and there it is.
Should we just get into the toy hauls? It's made its presence known over there.
Right. Yeah, sure.
Let's do that. Let's check out what our recent toy hauls are. And John, I feel like you got to go first because of that glorious Power of the Force haul you got behind you there.
Yeah, the cat's out of the bag. Yeah. Let me move here.
Oh my god. And did you just pick all that stuff up?
Yeah, yesterday morning.
That's crazy. Is that like multiple A-wings behind you?
Yeah. There's multiples of a lot. Like the Death Star escape.
Yeah.
Yep. I think there's maybe 4 of those. There's over 400 individual pieces in what I bought.
Wow. And what did you find this guy on Facebook or something, or like?
He got in touch with me. He found me somehow.
Yeah.
And I've had ads all over the place now for so long. I used to ask like, how'd you find me? But now it's just whatever.
Yeah.
So it's all like 95% of it is Power of the Force 2. There's a few other things like this. I think this is the first Muppets Disney set.
Yep.
Because this is 2008, so this might be a little later.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that stuff's great. I love those. Nice Bantha
like,
there.
there's a bunch of these.
Yeah.
So there's
each Wedge in there.
Yeah, one with Wedge, and then the other is no, it's the scanning crew member.
Okay.
And then there's a 3PO case over there.
Yeah.
The skiff. Dang. The only thing out of everything, the only thing that's ever been opened is the Shadows of the Empire Slave 1.
Yeah.
And the guy, he said he wasn't sure. He thought that it was opened because it was retaped.
Yeah.
So I kind of shook it around and I was like, there's more in here than just a Slave 1. So I cut it open and there was like 15 figures in there as well.
What?
Bouncing around. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, that's a darn good haul, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think out of all those, I love the Power of the Force Millennium Falcon. That was my first Falcon. I remember getting it Christmas. I did not have all my Star Wars toys until Power of the Force 2 were hand-me-downs. Because I was alive at the last tail moments of that toy line. So I had no opportunity to buy it in person, but I had older cousins and stuff. And that's, you know, in the dark ages when there was no Star Wars for 10 years, there was no new Star Wars except for those bendy ones.
Yeah.
So it was only hand-me-downs or flea market finds and stuff like that. But that one still has a special place in my heart. That's awesome.
That's hard to believe that there was no Star Wars for 10 years. Right? That's crazy.
It's a different time. Different time. Anywho, okay, what else do you got, good sir?
I got the sweet Remco Karate Kid collection.
I know, I put it
as was previewed in the intro.
Yes.
And these figures, I mean, I don't think they've ever been played with.
Wow.
Their gi is in fantastic condition. There's no like fraying around the edges or anything.
Wow.
So yeah, I got 2 Daniels.
Yep.
Two Miyagis. Each with one with blue pants. One white pants.
I think I have the blue pants version, I believe.
I got Kreese and Johnny. Kreese is ready for action.
Always is.
I can't get his leg to go down.
He's really excited to be on Toy Geeks tonight.
And Sato and Chosen from the sequel. And then the guy, he kept all of the package inserts.
Oh wow, look at that.
All of the secrets of the Miyagi scrolls.
Holy
it's like super bright and it's like drowning it out.
No, but I can see it.
But yeah, and all the accessories like the breakable tables, the ice block, the sort of I don't know what you call that thing. It's like the practice dummy, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so now people here know, or maybe if you're new, you don't know, but John, you sell stuff on the internets, on your eBay store, Small Plastic Heroes on eBay. Thank you, Jay Griffiths. So how much of that I know most of the Power of the Force 2, that's inventory, but
all of the Power of the Force 2.
Out of those awesome Karate Kid figures, how much are you going to keep? How much is going to be sold?
I might keep one Daniel, one Miyagi, Kreese and Johnny, and then sell a Miyagi and Daniel, and then Sato and Chosen.
Nice.
So keep 4, sell 4.
Yep. Nice.
It's so nice. I don't really want to sell all of them. I really do want to keep a nice set.
Well, especially when you find them like that, where like they clearly like opened them and just displayed them and never played with them. It's really, it's hard to find them like that. So
yeah, and I'm kind of excited. The seller that I got these from, so I bought these on eBay. It was a buy it now.
Yeah,
he sent me. He included a little note in his in the box that said he had Mask and Transformers. He was just waiting to dig them out of his mom's house because he just wanted to do them on the side rather than sell them again on eBay.
Sure, yeah.
Money.
Yep.
So he was like, just email me if you want more stuff. So I'm like, if he has Mask and Transformers in this condition,
Ooh.
sign me up, you know?
Yeah, seriously. Dang, that's always awesome when there's like the one thing and then there's all the stuff on the side. My best one, I think I've said on the show before, was on Craigslist. Somebody posted a place, not place, school, Little People, Fisher Price Little People, a houseboat. And my sons love those, and I was like, "Sure, that looks pretty cool. Yeah, I'll send them a message." And then in the below is like, my husband's selling all of his childhood toys. He has the GI Joe battleship, and I was like, and that's so if you've watched my toy room tour, the complete USS flag that I have was because of that Craigslist post. Most of my G1 Transformers was in that collection. Tons of He-Man. That was just one of the great finds of all time. So there's nothing better than like you get the one thing and then there's like, oh, I got more. Like, go on.
Go on.
I
do have to say,
yes.
So since the pandemic, this has been my second collection that I've picked up from someone in person.
Wow.
And pre-pandemic, I'd buy a collection once a week. Drive somewhere, I'd drive 3 or 4 hours somewhere.
Yep.
So this was 20 minutes from my house that I met this person. I'm just hoping that this is like that icebreaker that I need, and keep the momentum going to start buying things in person again. Because a lot of people are just shying away from that right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hopefully, as we get into the springtime and the crazy winter melts away, maybe more and more will come your way, John. That's what I hope. Fingers crossed.
I hope so.
I hope so as well. Bet we get Cobra Kai figures soon. Throwback Turtle says, I agree. Because All Music Fan did call it NECA did Karate Kid movie figures too. I think that'll be BTS. But yeah, I think and you may know this, John. Like, has the price gone up on those old school? Was it LJN that did those, right? Or
these ones are Remco.
Remco, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Remco. Have the prices gone up post Cobra Kai?
Definitely, absolutely. I want to say like a nice condition Daniel with his accessory is going between like $60 and $80 now for a loose one.
Wow.
And that goes across really everybody except for Sato and Chosen. They're still like 40 or 50.
They haven't shown up in the series yet, right? I'm behind. I'm behind a season.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to say anything then.
All right, fine. God, all right.
Let's see. Collector Ace LeBear. Do you guys remember that it is a toy line where the figure's face shifts? I've had some Egyptian vibe to it. I forgot, but there was that Mummies line that used.
I think they're referring to Infaceables. Yep. It was their face was actually made out of like a latex balloon sort of material, and
it was Infaceables.
Infaceables, yeah. Oh,
Okay,
who made it?
Google
Who made Infaceables? I think Galoob made Infaceables.
Okay.
And there would be like a suction motion that pulled that balloon texture against their face, and it had like a skull underneath.
Let's see. Do we have a video?
This beachfront Verbo is
I'm
about
sorry
to
for this
become
ad.
part of an unforgettable
I'm helping out
vacation.
Verbo, whoever they are. Here we go. Oh, wait. This guy's taking a long time. Let's just look at the pictures if we got him. So this is really trippy. Infaceables. I don't remember this at all.
I've never seen one in good condition, like with any of the rubber intact anymore, because it was really, really thin.
Yeah. Well, there's just no way, right? None of those could hold together.
No, most of the rubber is kind of melted against the skeletal shell underneath, where a lot of them you can hardly tell that it's a face anymore. It's just like a mess of paint and melted plastic.
Collector Ace, yes, John, you're indeed a toy geek. Infaceables, yes. Now here's the thing. John has the most encyclopedic knowledge of toys I have ever met in my life. You know, we both met each other setting up at toy shows. but even longtime toy dealers for decades will go to John if they have a thing they don't know what it is. And John, 9.9 times out of 10, you will know the correct answer.
I was figuring accessories out for Gary today.
Oh, you were?
Yeah. I got it. It was something that came with Toy Biz X-Men Evolution Blob figure.
Nice. But yeah, people just like walk up, and again, people have been toy dealers for like 40 years. Those have some like things in their head, like, do you know what this is? And you're like, oh yeah, it's just this and this. Anyway, Infaceables. Well, there you go. Yes, Toy Galaxy did do it. I saw it while I was searching there. Love Toy Galaxy. Love Dan Larson. Really, really nice guy. Have him on the show sometimes. Actually, I really want to get Pixel Dan on the show because I think his book is coming out soon. So I'd love to have him come on and talk about his book.
Yeah,
it's really exciting. His MOTU or Masters of the Universe kind of would you call it a compendium of
it's like a visual guide.
Yes.
All the toys. He got his advanced copy. I think yesterday in the mail he was posting.
Yes, because he's been posting on his Instagram, which is really exciting. Let's see. Aku, love the channel, guys. Regards from Dublin, Ireland. Only a few days from St. Patty's Day. Thank you.
Big deal over there.
Is it though? I always thought like St. Patty's was like one of those things that Americans like made into a really big thing, and maybe it's not as big in Ireland.
It could be. I'm curious if they do like if they go big with corned beef and cabbage, like they do here.
I've always questioned that because the first time I was in Mexico during Cinco de Mayo, and like in Mexico they could care less about Cinco de Mayo. I was like, America's the worst sometimes. So I was just after that Cinco de Mayo in Mexico experience, I was just curious, like, does everybody kind of hate our ethnic holidays that aren't really? Anywho. Neither here nor there. Let's see, Jake Grivis. If we had something that might need an ID, how could we do that? Well, maybe, okay. If anybody has like a mystery item that they have, send it to geekdadlife@gmail.com. So that way John won't see it. And then I can post the picture up on this live on the show. And then we can test John's knowledge and see if we can find out what that thing is. So if you have anything out there, if you're watching this right now live or after the fact, send in your mystery toy item to geekdadlife@gmail.com. And we can try to stump the experts on
don't be disappointed if it's post. I would say like post 2002, because then like if it's something from like Ben 10 or I don't know, anything like that, I definitely won't know.
We'll say vintage then. We'll say vintage, and see if anybody has anything that can stump John for us. So let's see. Gamble says, "LOL, indeed, Cinco de Mayo sucks here in Mexico." I listen. I respect the fact that maybe not a big deal down there, but anywho. All right, I think Jacob said it well. Any reason to drink? Yeah, it's usually how American holidays go. And Landeros 504, Jay and John, although not a top 5 for me, what do you think of the notion of an articulated Muscle Things line, a 6-inch style pack with the original little figures? So like Muscle, the little
like Kaneko Man.
Yeah.
They tried that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was Bandai who made those, but there was maybe 6 articulated Kaneko Man figures released, and they did not take off.
Were they like the flesh color?
No, they were colored. Like they were.
Oh, really? Okay, maybe
actually colored.
Maybe they needed to be like in Muscle Man colorways, like the flesh and the green and all the different colors.
Yeah, and they chose like sort of just the more generic looking ones, just like the Mexican wrestlers sort of look.
Yeah,
I think they did the ones, like with like 6 arms and like more of a crazier design. It would have done better. But I've had one ever, and it took me a while to sell it.
Really? Yep. Well, it's good to know. It's good to know. But yeah, I listen. I think if it stays true to the original toy, kind of like MOTU Origins, I think it could have a chance. But you never know. You never know. Jack Knight 73. Hey guys, I've been watching for a few months. I love the channel. First time posting. I hope we get mad. Well, welcome. Jack
Welcome.
Knight. Posting live, and there you go on the show. You're official. Everybody gets put on here, blasted up. You're a part of it. You're a part of this now. Jeremy's art has a follow-up because he couldn't get. He had the same problem as you with his Raph, but he finally got his Raphael as well. So,
awesome.
Yeah, it's good. Hopefully, Jeremy, you loved it as much as John did. All right, is that all of yours? I realized we kind of just went into the chat here.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. That's all I got for hauls this week.
All right, let's. I had a pretty big haul week, so mainly because it was a nice day yesterday. So I went to the flea market, and there was a couple people selling old toys. So I'm going to save that for the end here. Mutual friends, John. People.
Okay.
Know well. But anywho, you know that, and everybody probably has this, where the super Walmarts generally have a pretty good toy section. And you know, if I'm going to toy hunt at a Walmart, I'm gonna go to Super Walmart because that's generally where they are. But there's like the regular Walmarts that always have, or at least near me in Raleigh, are always awful. So like the one off Glenwood, the one that's probably closest to my house.
Yep.
Terrible, right?
You've
been.
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe like 3 toys there. I don't know, like at best.
They always have old stuff, like it's been there forever, covered in dust.
Yeah, exactly. It's awful. It's terrible. But I had to go there for packing material, which they generally have packing material there. So, I was like, I went to FedEx. You know that FedEx is right there. And let me just run over to Walmart. It's right here. So I was like, well, I'm here. Might as well go see if they've got something over there. I don't expect anything. And they actually had stuff there. So, and it's funny. I wasn't necessarily like looking for these figures, but I was just so shocked that they actually had something at this Walmart that I almost like, well, I have to buy it. I can't not. So they had a full wave of the new Mandalorian stuff. So,
oh wow,
maybe it's not that new. I don't know. But the Moff Gideon, I hadn't seen him yet. With the Darksaber, so I got him, and then I got the Ugnaught.
Yep. Is that Quill?
His name was Quill.
I think it's Quill.
Quill. Yep. Okay, that's why. I was like, I thought it was. What's the actor's name? But
I can't remember.
It's not Busey. It's the other one. Anyway, I was just thinking of him so much. I didn't even think of it. But anyway, and then the armor.
Oh wow! See, that's a good one to find.
Yeah, I didn't see it
because when that wave came out, so my Walmart did get those.
Okay,
they got in the armors. There was one other figure in that wave, wasn't there?
Yeah, Carl Weathers, who looks awful. So I
yeah. So the Moff Gideon and the Quill had sat at my Walmart for a month. But the armorer, like I happened to go the same day twice. I went once in the afternoon, once in the morning.
Yeah.
In the morning they were there. Afternoon, all gone. There was like 3 of them gone.
Well, and I think they had the deluxe one on Hasbro Pulse, and I wanted to get it, but I forgot to, and then it had sold out. So I definitely wanted the armor. So I got this, and I was like, well, I gotta get this. Plus, the Walmart had them for $17 instead of the $19.99, which may be the case at Walmart. I don't know. I just never find them there. And but they also had these two. So I may return these because I wasn't necessarily wanting them, but I was so in shock that this Walmart actually had something for a change. So I did pick those up. Definitely keeping the armor though, because I did that. But once I sold off my Cara Dune, I was like, well, I'm not a completist for Mandalorian anymore. But well worth it though. It was like 100 and I don't know how much, $180, I think. Which has it come down yet, or is it going higher? Don't tell me if it's higher than that.
I think it's coming. It's steady. I think it's steady at that price. Yeah.
All right. Steady's fine. Then I sold at the right point. All right. And then at the flea market this weekend, there's 2 toy sellers. One we're pretty close with. I nickname him, and he's watching this. He should know, but I call him Nickel and Dime Jeff. And if people sell toys, maybe they see these, there's always that one guy at a toy show that tries to nickel and dime you for like just every inch of what they could get for a figure, which normally I don't care. I like haggling. That's fine. I'll do the same thing when I'm trying to buy something. But God, every time he comes to my booth, it's like, hey man, would you take like $2 for this? It's like, yeah, if it's $15, like, oh come on, man. I just $2. Would you take $2 for it? It's like, no, it's $15. Maybe $10, but I'm not gonna do $2. Okay. How about $3?
we do come across quite a few of those people at shows.
Yes. But he's well, we're friends with him, so
Yeah,
he comes around the booth all the time, but just like every time. So that's my nickname for him, Nickel and Dime Jeff. So, anyways, whenever he is selling stuff, I give him the hardest time on prices, as you know, just as friends do. So anyway, he had his usual stuff out there, but he had a few things that I was interested in. One of them was this bag of Jurassic Park figures, and so I've been kind of on the lookout for some Jurassic Park figures for a while. Mainly the main characters from the because Ian Malcolm I think was in series 2, but the rest from series 1. So we had this bag. I didn't care, but these are like Lost World figures. I didn't really care about them so much. But I really wanted the Muldoon, which again doesn't look anything like Muldoon. None of them look like anything.
No,
in the movie, but still, it's Muldoon. He didn't even have his cool like Australian hat thing. And then what's his name? The kid. I'm blanking on his name now. And then Timmy. Come on, Tim. Yeah, I think he's like, Timmy. That's my Alan Grant impression. And then Ellie Statler. So, because I have the command play set right over there. I finally got a T-Rex again. So I wanted to get all of the main characters from the movie to kind of display throughout that set. So, but he wanted $10 for these figures. So, missing the accessories, all right shape. But I was like, $10, come on. These are like, they can't be worth that much, right? So I really haggled with him, and he's like, well, what if I throw in this figure? I was like, I don't care about this figure. Have you ever watched West Wing?
No,
okay. Richard Schiff is the actor. He played Toby on West Wing. Relatively well-known actor. This guy looks nothing like him. That's supposed to be him from Lost World. So he's like, it's this Alan Grant. I was like, that's not the Alan Grant figure. Don't try and mess with me. So anyways, so I left and came back. And so I was like, well, let's see if we can bundle some stuff up. So we had an LJN E.T. I love E.T., one of my favorite movies of all time. I was like, all right, let's put that in there. And they had a bag of his accessories, and he had an ectoplasm ghost, a blue one, which is a harder color to find.
Isn't that usually in red?
Yeah, red. The first cans I think had blue ones, if I'm not mistaken. But so anyways, I needed this color, and these can be kind of pricey. I mean, what do the ectoplasm ghosts go for nowadays?
I mean, I've seen them anywhere between like $25 and $40.
Yeah,
for hard colors.
So I bundled it. I bundled this all together. So for all the Jurassic Park figures, the LJN ET, and this ectoplasm ghost for $15. So
that's a win. I'd call that a win.
Throwing the ectoplasm ghost in there, I thought like, okay, I got what I needed out of it. Mm-hmm. And then Mark, you may not know his name, but you'll know his face. We know Mark.
Yep, he always has the coveralls on.
Yes, exactly. He had some great stuff. He had a scare glow, a complete scare glow. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't mint. Mm-hmm. But it was in pretty good shape, but complete for $200. And I almost bought it to flip. But I didn't, because I looked, recent sales were like $300.
Yeah.
Again, it wasn't
come down a little bit.
He has come down a little bit, probably because of the Origins one. Mm-hmm. But still, if you were somebody like looking to buy one, it was a great price, $200. And I told him, I was like, that's a really good price. He's like, yeah, but nobody's going to buy it for more than that, this flea market. So anyway, all right. So the first thing I saw is a figure I've wanted for a long time, and he had one there, and it's a Major Matt. Is it Mason?
Matt Mason.
Matt Mason.
Yep.
A Major Matt Mason figure.
He looks like he's in good shape.
Really good shape, because usually like all that white paint will fleck off. But really good,
Really
no
nice.
tears or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And he still had the helmet with the visor. And it was $30, so I jumped the chance to get that for $30.
That's not bad.
Recent sales, like totally tore up ones without the helmet, go for $30. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'll take that. And he had another really cool like knockoff figure. It was called Space Ant from the MX something line.
Mm-hmm.
So it was $40. I was gonna buy that. I was already set my mind on it. But then I saw he had some vintage Star Wars figures, and when I was sifting through it, he had a Jedi Luke, which I already have a Jedi Luke, you know.
Yep.
But this was the Jedi Luke there. And let me pull it up here. But when sifting around, I saw that this Jedi Luke actually had a blue saber. So let me hold on. Let me share screen again. So I was like, oh, I need a blue saber Luke. And so then the question immediately became, is it real?
Mm-hmm.
Real blue saber. And I mean, I don't know if you know Mark very well, if he uses a lot of repro parts. Haven't really, he usually is, if it's complete, it's complete. If it's not, it's not. So then I was like, how did you find this figure? Because he only had it for $65.
Mm-hmm.
Which was less than I think a true blue saber Luke goes for. So anyway, maybe it's come down more. I don't know. It just seemed like a normal green saber Luke price.
Yep. Did it have a blaster?
Had the blaster. Yep. Now this is not. So this is the actual one that it got. I put the blue saber with my non-painted face version of Luke in there.
Yep.
I don't know. I just like it better. But anywho, so basically it then became like, all right, I have to be able to see like what's the validity here. So he said that he just bought this collection from somebody. It was a parent was selling their kids' collection. It was in a Vader case. And when he bought it, they didn't even know it had accessories. He didn't see the accessories until he opened up the little container thing inside the Vader case. And that's what was in there, was those accessories. So that seemed like a pretty good story that this could be true. I was like, all right, that sounds pretty legit.
Yeah.
So then I took it home and then I did the 3-step process. I did the sound test with other, I have a couple green sabers and a yellow saber, and it sounded the same. I did the float test and it passed the float test. And I did the translucent light test and it passed that. So I'm pretty sure it's an authentic blue saber Luke, which I'm pretty pumped about.
It's a good price for. I would assume it's authentic.
Yeah,
because I don't see Mark going out of his way to buy repro parts or lie about it. Yep,
I agree. And again, he didn't seem to care that it was a blue saber Luke at all. So I was like, well, I'm not going to bring it up.
Hey, this is twice as rare as the green, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I was not going to bring it up because Mark is he doesn't haggle too much. If you bundle, you can probably get a deal, but he doesn't really bend too much, which I respect. You know, I'm not gonna. But anyway, so I was really pumped about that. I had no expectations of finding a blue saber Luke. It's one of the last kind of vintage Star Wars figures that I've been on the lookout for, and as far as major variants. So that was a nice find that I was pretty pumped about. So those are my hauls for the week.
That's good. That's a nice haul.
Yeah, it was nice because it'd been so long since the flea market had anything, and it was nice. I was like, oh my god, like I'm buying stuff at the flea market. It's been forever since I bought stuff at the flea market.
It's like the before times. Although even when the world was normal, like there's the past 2 years that flea market has been getting. It's been getting bad.
It has. It has. I mean, I live 10-15 minutes from this NC State Fairgrounds flea market, so it's not that much of a loss for me to go, but it has not been the same. No. Oh, and there was one more thing I forgot to say. I did You know that guy that like sells records and he has a bunch of crap usually? He's kind of older guy. He had a party wagon, but it's beat up. It is beat to hell. Like the front end bumper is like bent in. It's missing the door. But this, while it's like bleached, is not broken. And it had the lid, which I was missing a lid on another one. So, but once I got it in, this is probably too sun bleached to be like salvageable, because the one I had that I really would want, also the fin sticker was all messed up, and I'm trying to find one with a nice fin sticker. So I may just give this to Alex, but it was $2. It was $2 for a shell.
Yeah, that'll be good for a toy to play with.
Exactly. And again, my like Alex's 3, it has all the essential components. It has wheels, as a seat to put the turtles in.
Yeah,
he's good to go.
And it won't matter if he breaks it, because it was $2.
It's $2.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. Let's check the chat. I pair repro with original all the time. Love the custom accessories for Ecto 1. Oh, absolutely. Like custom stuff is fine. It's just for me as and again, I don't judge anyone who does repro parts, but but for me personally, I just really, for my collection, for my Star Wars collection, and it's something I've been buying since I was 10, I don't know, somewhere around there. Like I really want to try and keep it vintage original. As it's getting harder and harder to tell, but I really try to make sure if I'm buying it, like I know the person, I trust that person, and and also I still do all of the tests just to kind of like put my mind at ease. And even then, I may be wrong, but I have a pretty good feeling it's legit. Classic action figures, original Star Wars figures hold up. I'm rebuilding my vintage Star Wars collection. Yeah, it's something about that original Kenner Star Wars line that just holds up. It's unique. It's I consider it art. I'm totally down for it, for sure. And I think you were rebuilding collection too recently, weren't you?
Yeah, I sold all my vintage Star Wars figures.
You're starting up and you're like, yeah, F it. Actually,
I was really close. I had, I probably had, how many are there total? With the last 17?
99, 98, 103. Kind of depends on who you count.
I want to say I probably had like 80, 88 or 86 complete ones. But I sold them when the market was still hot. Now it's kind of meh again.
Soft.
Yeah. But I got them all really, really cheap. You were there for quite a few of the deals. The guy that walked in to the show that had like a cigar. It was like a cigar box or something like that. He came in with that first, and it was filled with just nothing but accessories, Star Wars weapons. And he's like, I have all the figures in my truck if you want to come see them.
I remember it's like one of those things where I'm happy for you. You are my friend, and I am happy for you. But deep down, I'm like, you son of a. But it was an amazing set, an amazing like just again, it just you like put your hand in and took it out, and it's just like just hundreds of dollars worth of accessories.
Are those layer blasters falling out between your fingers?
Exactly. And coins too, like the Star Wars coins and stuff. That was insane. That was a good one. That was a really, really good one. All right, let's go. Do you want to do our actual main topic first, and then we'll kind of close out with news? Does that sound right? Does that sound good?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, because we're already 40 minutes in.
Good Lord. I'm sorry. That's on me.
It's okay.
That's on me. All right. So, main topic, why we're here today. So, mainly because of this news that happened. I made a little video on the channel, want to deep dive into it, but the Kenner Classics, I guess Wave 2, we're going to call it, the re-release of Ecto 1, which is huge, and Bug-Eye Ghost, which is great. And then for some reason, they did Fearsome Flesh, which I don't really understand. It's crazy they did Fearsome Flesh because that was a peg warmer. I think it still is a peg warmer.
It still is, technically.
It is a peg warmer.
You know what? I think they did it. I honestly think it's the most memorable item from Kenner Ghostbusters.
You think so?
Yes, I never had any Kenner Ghostbusters growing up. I never had a single anything.
Mm-hmm.
But the Fearsome Flush, looking at it in the little cross-sell catalogs, anything like that. Anytime I ever seen it in a picture, that stuck in my mind.
Yeah.
It didn't stick in my mind like the figures, the firehouse, the ecto, nothing stuck in my mind like the Fearsome Flush. So I think they're going to pull that, for everybody that has that same feeling when they see it in the store on the peg, and they'll remember that. They're like, oh my God, I remember seeing pictures of that. I never had one.
Yeah.
Because it's stupid. But here it is. And okay, so another good thing.
Yeah.
So if you're a Ghostbusters completist,
Sure.
the Fearsome Flushes are always in good shape, except for that seam that's always leaking glue down the center. It's always like yellow and disgusting looking. It looks like somebody actually used the toilet. So I think it's going to be good for a completist in their collection to have a nice clean Fearsome Flush, because they are hard to find clean. Even in the packages, they're still like $25 for a vintage one.
Yeah.
But that glue is always leaked.
That's true.
Down that center.
I'm trying to remember mine now. Like, I feel like it's okay. But yeah, I agree. It's that one. Absolutely. Yeah, you can see it right there on mine a little bit. You can see just kind of the discoloration at the seam there. But yeah, I think it was interesting because they were hinting at, because they talked a lot about Fearsome Flesh and the Bug-Eye Ghost at PulseCon.
Yep.
Remember?
Yep.
And even with the original sculptor, they were talking to him about like the sculpt he did for Bug-Eye Ghost. I was like, oh, okay, pretty obvious they're going to do Bug-Eye Ghost, maybe even Fearsome Flesh. And then they had the Ghost Popper, which again, my kids love the Ghost Popper. But it was kind of like, like really all of that, and we're just getting the Ghost Popper. But so I'm really excited for the Bug-Eye Ghost. I wish they were doing the full like second wave of Ghosts, because it was Bug-Eye Ghost, Bad to the Bone, and H2O Ghosts. Those were the next set of ghosts that they released, along with the Ecto 1 as part of that kind of 1.5 wave 1.5 of the toy line. And so it's kind of a bummer they didn't do Bad to the Bone and H2O to go with it, because that would have been even better. And it seems like change it to the eye of this Bug-Eye is a lot bigger. So maybe again, I think I mentioned it in my video, my vintage one doesn't really do the action anymore. So maybe they made it bigger so that it pops better. I don't know.
Yeah. And hopefully and the Slimer is harder too. Isn't the new Slimer? It's a harder plastic than the vintage.
It is. The arms are gummier, but the actual Slimer is harder. So we'll see if they get it right. Or maybe it's a choking hazard thing. Maybe they made it bigger because it's a choking hazard. That's probably the case.
Yeah, that's right. That's probably right.
But Ecto 1 coming back, that's huge. I really, even though it made the most sense in my comments on my video the week before and all over the social media, like, what do you want next? Ecto 1 and Firehouse were the top ones. But re-releasing a vehicle from the Ghostbusters line is huge.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I can't believe they're doing that.
I wonder, what the actual sales numbers are, because but we still see the Ghostbusters, the figures from Wave 1 kind of, sitting around at a bunch of stores still. Some places they've been clearanced. But I wonder if they did well enough to do a third wave of figures.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing that this stuff has been sitting around since PulseCon. Maybe they were waiting for the movie to come out, but all that got messed up.
Yep. Or maybe they're waiting for Toy Fair. I don't know.
Yeah.
Still, it's great. I'm pumped. The pre-orders go for sale tomorrow. The link in that previous video is there. So it's a Walmart pre-order. So I still haven't gotten my pre-order for the Ghost Popper. So
you might as well kiss that goodbye.
Right? There's no way. There's no way they're going to do it. But I'm really pumped about it. I'll get it one way or another. Trust me. But just like I did with the Wave 1 figures, I'll be doing a history of the Ecto 1, the Kenner Ecto 1 on the channel, hopefully later this week. And whenever this one I do get my hands on it, I'm going to do the full like deep dive into comparing it to the original one. I have a sealed Ecto one, Kenner one, so we'll be able to compare the artwork as well in the box and everything. So definitely be on the lookout for that. If you haven't hit subscribe, definitely do it, because that's going to be a lot of fun. So this inspired the topic for today, which again is we want these toys back too. So earlier on in our show, John, you and I kind of had a discussion like this. What toys should come back?
Yeah.
But we decided to bring it back tonight, especially because it was very early on. There may have been like 3 people that listened to us back then. And
one was Colleen.
Yeah, one was my wife. To just bring up the discussion. And again, the thing that just really fascinates me is because as much as I love Real Ghostbusters and it's number 1 in my heart, I know it's not a top tier 80s property. It's just not. And the success of it, the fact that we're getting more like a wave 2, tells me that it's lower tier stuff, because tier 1, Transformers, G.I. Joe, He-Man, Star Wars, that's tier 1, right? Yep. Anything else in tier 1?
No, I think that's about it.
You probably put Turtles up there too.
Yeah, but they've never really stopped. It's never ended.
Exactly. But that's the top tier, and maybe GB is tier 2, maybe RGB is tier 2, but still, if this can be successful, and really not in a million years that I think it would be this level successful enough. Maybe there could be some other properties that can be successful as well. And so John and I put together our top 5 for who we think the next toy line should be. So John, since you went first for, and again, let me know down in the comments section as well, or the live chat. I will plus it in for your picks as well. They've been going all day, so I'm sorry if I miss it, but just, put it in there, and if I can find it, I'll get it. And if you're watching this after the fact, you can see all these amazing recommendations here. I think they're all really, really good recommendations. Like one right now, Todd Smith has a great call out. Seems like the Kenner Indiana Jones line will be released at some point. I would love for the Indiana Jones Kenner stuff to be released, because they're so expensive. And I just want to like display them. I want that, the Well of Souls and the
map room.
The map room, and I would love those play sets. I would absolutely love those play sets to have. And then the figures too. I have a Indy, but he's missing all his pieces. Even that was expensive. So that's a Todd Smith great call out there. I'm just like trying to keep up, and that one definitely caught my eye there. But all right, so I'll kick it off, John, since you went first with Toy Hall. Does that sound good to you?
Yep.
All right, so where is my list here? All right, so you saw it in the video. Make sure this is my first one. But one that, and most of my picks, save for maybe 1 or 2, are toy lines that I do not actually have in my collection in any great quantity. And one of those is Dino Riders, mainly because why I think this would be a great line to bring back is, 1, it's dinosaurs. Dinosaurs always sell. And they've done a few lines that kind of are like Dino Riders, but aren't really Dino Riders a few times. I think those have done well. And it's just such a really neat concept that I know kids would love today. Like, I know my kids would be all over this stuff. They love the Mattel Jurassic Park toy line. They have those dinosaurs are strewn about all over the house because they love those toys. Add dinosaurs with freaking like robot armor and all and figures and all that kind of stuff. Like, brain exploded.
Yep.
So that's one part of it. And the second part is the reason I don't have really any of these in my collection. I've bought in collections every now and then, is they are so stinking fragile, and they just break without even, you could just like look at them and they would fall apart. They do, right? This armor is like impossible. I mean, maybe you could, but you're going to drop a whole bunch of money on it.
Yeah, the plastic that armor is made out of is terrible. It is so terrible.
Yes.
It's either discolored or broken. There's very little of it that's out there in great condition, or there's plenty of dinosaurs out there covered in armor that's all brown. It's not gray anymore because of the discoloration, and the gun tips are always missing, those red tips, because they just kind of held on there by the tiniest little prongs. I think the T-Rex's shin armor was held on by these like special elastic bands, but they were like fit directly, special for it. That's always dry rotted. I mean, it is so ripe for a renewal.
Yes.
And if they could get, if Mattel could do it with Jurassic Park dinosaurs, like if they did, just retooled them.
Yeah.
Imagine what they could do, because they're doing so many of the colossal sized ones. It would be unreal.
Yes. 100%. The fact that this is a Mattel property, and they have Jurassic Park right now, and they clearly know how to make a dinosaur, because the Jurassic Park line is fantastic from Mattel. They are putting Hasbro to shame on how much better the Jurassic World, Jurassic Park figures are on Mattel versus what Hasbro is doing with it.
Yep.
Putting them to shame. So them taking this back, I think, would be huge. So that, and again, the fact that just, if you have any of these vintage ones, I would love to have a collection of these in my collection, but they fall apart. Every time I've bought like at a toy store or something, there's like a cardboard box full. I'm like, all right, this is it. I'm gonna get this thing, and then I try to put, and then it just falls apart in my hand as I'm trying to put it together. And it's just like, I can't. So
and you just kind of over it,
right? Exactly. It's frustrating. It's really frustrating. So, all right, that's my number one. John, what's yours?
All right, my number one, and this is in no particular order of desire.
Same here.
Shogun Warriors.
Yes.
Old, the 1970s jumbo, and there's been so many iterations of not so much reissues. Like there's been the Godzilla one. He's been re-released a few times by a couple different companies. But I want almost identical reissues of the Mattel versions.
Yes.
And they wouldn't be expensive to make, because it's not like they're super articulated. They had wheels on their feet to sort of roll along. The missile firing actions weren't very complicated. Just a spring and a sort of a hook that would hold on to the back of the missile.
Yep.
But the best thing about those was just the size and the variety. And when you saw those, I never had them when I was a kid. I was born in 81, so it would have been too young. But the first time I got one, it was like, this is what toys were in Japan. It's like automatically in your head, and you're like, this is awesome. Why are they so hard to find here? Why can't we get more things like that here? And there's a lot of that style that I think is missing from the toy aisle these days. That they're so full of art that it's,
and they're just,
they're unbelievable. They are just pieces of art.
Yeah, they are. I have the Shogun Godzilla. I would love a couple of the other ones. But they are pricey.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to find them complete and like in non-broken, because they are kind of just like blow molds essentially. Like they're very
yeah, they're super cheap plastic and it's all cracked.
Yeah, exactly. And I know a lot of companies have like made new versions of Shogun Warriors. But it's great just to have like the originals re-release and on toy shelves.
Yeah, I want them with bad articulation, or
just like this, just re-release them like this.
Yeah, and they'd be so cheap.
Yeah,
it's the idea of having big figures got big, in the past 10 years with like the Jakks big figs, the Titan heroes.
Yep,
these would fit in so well with that sort of market.
Absolutely,
as big as they are, they don't take a lot of shelf space. When they're in their box.
Yep.
I think these are perfect for a comeback.
Totally agree. 100% with you. I would love, and I know my kids would love these because they're so cool. But if I had a vintage one, there's not a chance in hell I would let them play with it, because it would fall apart. Collector, Dino Riders are Tyco, not Mattel. Thank you for that call. I totally forgot. Is Tyco owned by Mattel though? It's only like Mattel and Hasbro left. Is Tyco
I think Mattel has the license now.
Do they? Okay.
Because they're doing those exclusive sort of Keshi figures on
Yes,
Big Bad
you're
Toy
right.
Store.
So there you go. All right, let's see if Aku Super 7 should do Monster in My Pocket in bigger size. I agree. I would love that. I have to shop on Big Bad. It takes forever. It is true. I love Big Bad Toy Store, but they usually get their stuff last. Last. All right. Great pick. Love Shogun Warriors. Time for my next pick. And that is, I'm going to get my little doohickey up here. That is, oh, wait. I gotta go. Visionaries. So I was either like Supernaturals, right?
Yep.
Or Visionaries. I think I went with Visionaries just because, again, I haven't gotten any of these figures, and they're kind of pricey, and I just haven't found them, or a collection. The lightning hasn't struck for me on this toy line, and I think the designs are really cool. It would be really neat if there's a hologram kind of toy line again. Even though I think a few episodes ago you talked about how it's cost prohibitive to do this.
Yeah, holograms are difficult to make because you actually sculpt the item that the hologram is, and then they photograph it with that hologram technology. It's not just a picture; they actually have to sculpt something.
So maybe it'll never happen, or they gotta have these pictures around somewhere. Just use those.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the technology now, photoshopping and everything, because this is old.
Yeah.
I assume now they can make a hologram much easier. Or it would be like, maybe not a hologram, maybe it would be a lenticular, sort of like the shields from Secret Wars.
Either way, it's just, again, it's one of those toys I've always wanted, but I haven't. Stars have not aligned for me to have a collection of it. So it'd be really cool to pick it up. Same as Dino Riders. Like I've always wanted these toys. If you've watched my toy room tour, there's not many things I don't have because I have a problem. I have a major problem. But I've always wanted these. Just the stars haven't aligned. So I would love to redo these.
That would be an easy line to collect or to complete the figures anyway, because there's not a lot of them for you to display. Like you could probably fit them in a DTOF shelf. It's when you get the vehicles, that's when it starts adding up.
Depends. Like I can't remember. I can't remember the vehicles. You're right. Like I don't know how I would display it if I got it, but if it happens, then there's a problem that I'll figure out if it ever lines up. Collector A says lenticular wouldn't cut it for a Visionaries. Has to be hologram. Well, hey, we'll see what happens. All right, John, what is your next one?
My next one is Exo Squad. Playmates Exo Squad.
Oh,
I loved Exo Squad, and it was such a good cartoon. But the toys, man, I didn't have any when they were out, like when they were out currently back then. But my cousin, who was my playmate constantly, we're always, I'll bring my stuff to his house, he'd bring over to my house. He was the one with the Exo Squad, and he probably had, I don't know, 20 E-frames, and I absolutely love those. I wish, so if they redid them, I would hope that they would do the figures a 4-inch scale.
Yep.
Rather than I think they might be 3 inches. I don't really know how tall they are, but they would have to do a proper with some sort of media. Because it was actually a really good cartoon.
Well, so, and you got me on the whole Peacock streaming service thing, and I saw it because Exo Squad has been mentioned many times in this chat. And I can't remember where it was. It was very early on, but apparently it's been on the original show is on Peacock right now. The original series.
Is it? I'll have to look that up.
Yeah. So, but I agree. I remember I got a few of these figures for my birthday whenever this line came out. And it was just such a, guys, one of those great toys that you could just, I never even watched the show. I don't think I watched it once. And this is before DVR and streaming services where you just watch anything you want any given time. I just never saw it on TV. So all I had were the toys. But that was enough. Like just the story, the way the packaging, like it just flipped up and you saw the figure inside. Yeah. And they just had so much detail, and they were just, the exosuits were so cool, and the little figures, and I played with those toys so much as a kid. And I'm 100% with you. I would love.
I think it was one of the best functioning toys.
Yes,
because like a lot of times, they've done sort of exosuits for some GI Joe figures, and they never really sit properly, like in the cockpit, and the arms don't reach the sort of the grab handles or the control arms really properly, with the figure being able to like lean back into the cockpit part.
Yep.
But like whoever engineered these things, it was nearly flawless how well the figure fit in there, where the canopy would come down.
Yep.
Absolutely fantastic designs. And then each one was so different from one another. Exactly. And you could sort of tell, what the theme of that, the E-frame was, whether it was like construction or police or like the deep space or I think it was Alec De Leon maybe was the green one, and it was almost like an environmental looking color or something like that. I don't know how to explain it, but it was so cool how each one was so distinctive of its own character.
Yeah. No, 100%. And you're right about the engineering, because it just made it so much, I don't know, just the playing so much more fun, because all the, like the little figure articulated so well that all the movements you did with the exosuit worked well. Like it was just absolutely great line. All right, moving on. Let's go to my next one here. I should have prepared this, but I should have put it all on one thing. That's okay. We're rolling with it. But it is mask. I actually have a pretty good mask collection. This is one of the few where I have most of the figures. I do not have Hurricane, so that's why I put Hurricane here, because Hurricane is just one of those iconic toys of the 80s. But again, it's just one of those ones where I don't feel as comfortable like with my kids playing with them. They are safe for Hurricane, which I do not have, but my co-host Ralph on Screen Geeks tortures his every single week.
It's like a brick.
Yeah. But most of the others are not so much. So I think, again, and maybe seeing a theme here, it's like figures that either I don't have or are really fragile, and they should come back. So I think something that both Origins and Kenner Classics have done so well is, like, Origins made really good hyper articulation relative to the rubber band figures. And for Kenner Classics, the proton packs, which are so easily breakable, they really fixed them. The plastic's great. My youngest, my 3-year-old, has beat them to hell, and none of the streams have broken. Not a single stream has broken, which is insane. So I would love, new mass, or just re-releasing those mass toys, but fix all the engineering issues. And again, I think kids would like. I know my oldest Zach, who loves cars and stuff like that, would absolutely be over the moon for this line. And again, to pick up some of the ones I don't have yet, like Hurricane, and they have gotten expensive. They have gotten really expensive lately.
Yep.
I think that'd be a great line to bring back.
Yeah, the mask is perfect, and the vehicles are all great. I think the vehicles themselves are relatively sturdy. It's all the action features that are trash. It's like the plastic equivalent of tissue paper.
Yep.
Especially the Switchblade, right? That's Miles Mayhem's the Venom. Is that the regular sort of blue plane helicopter?
Yep,
That's
exactly.
the Switchblade.
Mm-hmm.
It's you look at that thing crooked, and the springs all blow off, and the wings eject on their own.
Yep. And that's where it is, and it's always a bummer when a toy just has to like sit up on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, we can't play with that one because it might.
Yeah.
And so again, that's would be really nice to have those with some fresh plastic, maybe even better plastic, and some maybe better engineering to hold up better. And again, and for those that maybe don't want to pay the secondary prices, like for Ecto 1 being $50 when a complete one on eBay is $150 is great, because again, like my son Alex is on his third Ecto 1. He has broken 2. Mainly because the plastic's gotten really brittle.
Yep.
But again, he's lucky I have like a stupid amount of Ecto 1s. I never get him like a really mint one. But he is like, he ripped off the whole side panel of an Ecto 1 once.
Does he just like carry you a handful of the pieces and then you just go grab another
like,
one?
I went in and like the whole side of the Ecto 1 was gone. I was like, what did you do? It's like, it crashed. I was like, clearly. I didn't know that was I've never seen that break before.
Drive it off the roof.
I was just like, it was just from the fin all the way up to the door. It was just like ripped off the car. And again, for anybody in horror at home, like it had stickers all over it. It had like those Hardy stickers, and it was yellowed, so it wasn't like a mint condition one. I wouldn't do that, but he loved it because I had all the accessories for it. But so anyways, the doors and the fins got moved to the next Ecto. He is currently not broken yet, but again, so that to me, like bringing back Mask, fixing those things, I think would be great.
Yep.
Damien, restoring HasLab Project Boulder Hill. The original was huge at the time. God, HasLab's Boulder Hill. I don't want to know how much that would cost. And people are saying HasLab's for the Firehouse. If it's the same Firehouse, just put it in retail. You could do that.
That doesn't need to be HasLabbed. If it's just a regular straight up reissue, there's no moving parts, like actual moving parts that, because the door and the pole, there's actually no like powered movement. The pole is gravity.
Exactly.
And the doors are just snap on, That thing is so cheap to make.
Yeah. Yep. So again, if the Ecto 1 sells well, you may very well get it. You just have to be at Walmart, which is a bit of a that's the world we live in. All right, John, what's your next one?
All right, my next one is Warlord and Warrior Beasts.
Ooh, okay.
Those would have been Remco back in the day. But I would like to see those redone with the articulation of the Origins, because the Masters Origins, they pretty much shared the same body style as every MOTU, Warrior Beast, Warlord, Galaxy Warriors, everything from the dollar store in the 80s with that wrestler style body.
And my guess is it would be cheap, right? Like it or I don't know. I feel like, I guess this is Marvel, because Warlord's Marvel, right?
No, Warlord is DC.
DC, sorry, that's right.
Yeah. That's the only sort of hiccup that would probably come in, because I think there's only been one DC Warlord figure, or no, there's been 2. Because they did a DC Direct Warlord figure, which was like the first appearance series. And then they did one in the JLU, the Mattel JLU stuff. Yep. They did a Warlord.
And they're great figures.
They're awesome figures. I did have a complete collection of both the Warrior Beasts and the Warlord that I sold like 3 years ago. But the Warrior Beasts themselves, I don't know if they're like actually owned by anybody, like the designs, because I know Zolo World
knockoffs, right? Or Zolo World was doing them.
Yeah. But he kind of redesigns some of it a little bit. Like the heads are a little bit different. They're not exact copies.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were taken from the same molds.
Yeah.
But they don't have that articulation. They have basic articulation. They don't have articulation like the MOTU Origins.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope, my wish would be that we could get these figures in a MOTU Origins articulation style.
Yep. Agreed.
Which I think would be pretty cool if they did it on a MOTU package with like a Warrior Beast sticker, sort of like how they did the Horde and the Snake Men. That'd be awesome.
And the way they're going through the original line anyway, they're going to run out of characters soon enough. So
yeah, they're going to need new characters next year.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. 100%. Old school Shinobi had Warlord, always wanted Eric, Son of Thunder. That was a really cool comic book series too. Craven was an awesome warrior beast.
Craven was the first one I ever got when I was a kid.
Old school Remco had a ton of great figure lines: Warlord, Sergeant Rock, Crystar,
Karate Kid.
Karate Kid. Yeah, no, I agree. Like, especially I would think the rights had to be cheaper. Like, it'd be so cool to have some of these Warrior Beast figures in the Origins line. Because again, and you're talking about a toy line that is probably more expensive on the whole, right? Than a lot of the MOTU figures are, vintage MOTU.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you figure like figures like Buzz Off, Visto, and Jitsu, like the second and third series.
Yeah.
Sort of, they're a dime a dozen.
Yep.
But finding like Iguanus, a complete Iguanus or complete Skullman from Warrior Beast is like $300.
Exactly. So much like how Origins Scareglow is maybe rather the price, I do think that would be really cool to have, because again, and when do you find those? Like I rarely ever find them.
Yeah, barely. Especially complete. A lot of those figures, if they had like a wrap or like some sort of like belt, it was sort of made out of like this foil paper, and that's never there. That's always gone.
Yep. All right,
so we need that one back.
I totally agree. All right, my next one here is Food Fighters. This is a really grainy picture. I apologize for that, but nonetheless, this is a really cool line. What was it, 1990? I don't remember when it was.
Probably around there.
And I think I had the taco. Maybe the taco and the pizza as a kid. But again, there's just those toy lines that I've always wanted to add. Maybe I finally sold the vehicle. I had the egg carton vehicle for a long time. But the stars, again, just have never aligned to have a set of these. And again, finding complete ones, like, it's kind of been a weirdly hard line for me to find and collect and it's one that I know kids would still think. They kind of made those that toy. I can't remember that toy line. They kind of did a pseudo Food Fighters toy
was
line.
It like the grocery gang?
Yeah. But I want a true blue re-release of the Food Fighters line. I don't know if Mattel still owns the rights to it, but it seems really simple, and it seems like something that Mattel could do really, really easily if they still have the rights to it.
Yeah, because if they did it just like they did, the bodies were made out of like almost like a squeaky dog toy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a dog toy plastic, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And they should do it just like that. Super cheap, just fun, having those on your shelf. And I don't know if you remember it. What was it? I think it's a John Cusack movie. Well, I know it's a John Cusack movie. It's Better Off Dead.
Okay, yeah.
Where there's a scene, he works at a burger place, and there's a scene where he's like in the back flipping burgers, and I think it's a David Lee Roth song comes on. Oh, it's Everybody Wants Some.
Yeah. Okay.
And two burgers. The burgers like they're like claymation, and they come to life, and they're dancing. It's like a man and woman burger. And I'm like, oh my god, this has to be where they got the idea for Food Fighters, because it looks just like them.
Interesting. Okay. All right, I have to watch it again. I don't remember that scene, but against I haven't seen it in I don't know how long, but everybody wants some.
I want some too. I love that movie. That and One Crazy Summer with John Cusack.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, it's so
I
good.
feel like I've seen most of his like movies though, so I probably have seen my dad loved those movies, so I know I've probably seen them all. I just don't remember them all. All right, moving on here. What is your next one, good sir?
My next one is Wheeled Warriors. Jace and the
Jace.
Wheeled Warriors.
So why Wheeled Warriors? That's an interesting pick here. Not that I think it's a great pick. They're a really cool toy line, but why that toy line?
Mostly because like the interchangeability and they're almost like sci-fi vehicles that are kind of akin to like Mad Max Road Warrior.
Yes.
But in space, and they're just so much fun. And I think a lot of, so many things in the 80s, and this kind of goes back to my next pick.
Yeah.
There was a lot of vehicle-based toy lines where, the figures meant nothing. It was all about the vehicles themselves, sort of like Steel Monsters and, Transformers as vehicles. I don't really put that in the same category. But I think the interchangeability and the buildability, all the extra accessories that you got with these made them so much fun that I think kids would like these. I think these would sell just as well to kids if they redid these as they would with, us.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I know my kids will love them. And again, I feel like I just have parts of these just everywhere, just in my part spins that I need to take time to do. And Alan Quesada Gomez, Jason the Wheeled Warriors, written by J. Michael Straczynski, who's also among his many great IMDb credits. He did Real Ghostbusters as well, which is the one that I love him for the most. Met him at Comic-Con many years ago. Great guy. Which if something's come out about him like murdering somebody, I take it back. But he seemed like a really nice guy. Anywho, let's see. But no, I think it's a great pick. Great pick. All right. Next, I think it's time for my last pick, John. You ready for my last pick?
What do you got?
My last pick is my 190s pick on this. Oh, did I close it out? Son of a gun. Hold on. That's fine. I'll get it back. It is none other than Mighty Max. Mainly because it's crazy that this hasn't been brought back yet to me.
It is. Because hasn't Polly Pocket been back?
Polly Pocket's back in full force. I see it, I'm checking Target and whatnot. I see the Polly Pocket stuff.
Littlest Pet Shop. Like they have it for the girl stuff. Why can't they have Mighty Max?
And I remember like how jealous I was of all of the girls of the world that they had Polly Pocket because I thought it was so freaking cool. It was one of those girls toy lines that I was like, if my parents would let me, I would totally get some of these. It was just so cool. It was like a little action feature play set, and you had the little figures and stuff. I was like, this is so freaking cool. But I was so jealous because it was Polly Pocket, and it was just a different time, and parents weren't as probably cool about getting their boys girl toys. But I was totally down. I was like, I want this so bad. So then Mighty Max comes around. I was like, yes. Finally. And this is the one that I got, and I remember getting it, and I just played with it nonstop because it was just so perfect. This was pre-tablets. This was this was like you could take this with you anywhere.
Yeah, it could go in your pocket.
Exactly. And it's such a very firm place in my heart. And I've luckily gotten a few of these sets. I have this one. I actually have a couple of this one. So it's not for a lack of having it now. But I just think it's crazy to me how there is not a current iteration of Mighty Max on toy shelves right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because my kids would love this stuff. I would let them play with it if I knew that my two sons wouldn't chew all the characters and probably swallow the little figures. Which I generally wouldn't mind if it was their own, but these are mine. I don't want to lose
Right.
these.
Those are for you to swallow.
This is a great vintage. This is a, what is it? It's a 92.
It's a 92 Bluebird.
It has a, what is it, from The Office, an Okie Afterbirth.
It's got an gap.
So yeah, I would love, and it doesn't have to even be an exact re-release. Just the Polly Pocket, the new Polly Pocket stuff looks great. I would just love to see some Mighty Max on there.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. And I think PD Dubs also calls like the horror themed kids toys need to make a comeback. I agree.
Absolutely.
Sean, you could lose the figures wherever you go. It's true. It's very true. Riley Bob, Mighty Max was rad. Wasn't there a cartoon that went with it or something? I don't know. I know the commercials were like a cartoon.
Yeah, the commercials were super well done with animation.
Yeah, they were. They really were. So anywho, that's my final pick. All right, John. Is
my
this
last one.
Final pick coming up?
Yep, my last one. It's not real. Maybe it's not real well known, but I love it. And it's Kenner Megaforce.
Megaforce.
And it was tanks and planes and helicopters. And they were die cast, but smaller than Hot Wheels. I want to say the scale is probably smaller than Micro Machines. But that allowed for them to have like bigger, not so much play sets, but like the Strato Fortress, like that would, you could load tanks into the back of it. And then there's another one. Oh, the Scorpion. That was my absolute favorite because it would launch this sort of hovering bus sort of thing. It was like a hovercraft, but it was sort of like just a troop carrier, but it would actually like shoot it out of there. You press the button on the top, the big gun. And the thing that shot out was actually die cast. So it shot out like a bullet.
Mm-hmm.
But there was two factions. There was the V-Rocks and the Triax, for the different factions.
Mm-hmm.
But there was so many cool things. It was awesome. The 3 packs of the tanks and the helicopters, they would come with like helipads or like bridges.
Mm-hmm.
And the mid-size sort of like that right there would be a carrier.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like one, I think it was called Strike Master, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a space shuttle that would launch off like a mobile launch unit, and then the space shuttle had another tank, so it would like take a tank to space. So like just the broad spectrum of like the world of these wasn't just like Earthbound or singular planet bound. It was everywhere.
Yeah.
But I think the coolest thing about it was how much diecast was used throughout the series. And they did have the Goliath playset was massive right there. They did have a series 2 planned. There's actually some pretty decent pictures on Google. They're hard to find, the unproduced stuff. Yeah. But these used to be pretty cheap. But a lot of people have started collecting it. The Micro Machines collectors collect this stuff.
Yep.
But this, I would love to see make a comeback now that Micro Machines is back.
Yep.
I think it would definitely do pretty well.
Yeah. I never had Megaforce as a kid. The only I knew of Megaforce because it was always in the Kenner cross-sell pamphlets. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It always looked so cool. But I remember it just, again, it's just one of those things where I didn't really have that much agency in toy buying in the 80s and 90s. It was kind of like I would ask for things and parents would buy it, or I'd see it and the stars would align on what money I had to buy something. And so it never aligned on Megaforce, but I knew of it from the Kenner cross-sell stuff. But it looked like an amazing line. And again, I know my kids have loved the new Micro Machine stuff, so I think I'm with you. I think kids would dig it today too.
Yeah, this was the very first line that I ever found out what like army building was.
Mm-hmm.
Where like not only like the small like 3-packs of tanks, but the like the bigger vehicles like the tank carriers. Like I bought, that was the first thing I bought multiples of, where it was like okay to have a double.
Yeah.
Like if I got a double of it at Christmas, I was like, all right, I'm not returning this and exchanging it. I'm keeping it because it's just as awesome as the first one I have.
That's awesome. I love that. That's awesome. Well, there you go. There's our list. Just let's go to what we have in the chat right now. There's a lot of people really upset that we missed some, John. Well, this was just our thoughts. It's not I think these are all valid. I think all ideas are valid. These are just what we picked. So
and there's some in there that we did on the last.
Yes, that's true.
The last wish list show.
Yes. Eagle Force. Let's see. Children's Palace had a lot of Megaforce on clearance. Well, there you go. Okay.
I loaded up on clearance.
Toy Doc Z-Bots. Those were awesome. That was Micro Machines, right? Micro Machines Z-Bots. Was that those guys?
Yep.
If I remember correctly. Battle Beast. There's been a few tries at doing Battle Beast game, but nobody's kind of nailed it yet, right?
Yeah. Diamond Select made Battle Beasts in
but they were the mini mates though.
The mini mate style. I did have a few. I still have a few kicking around. They're terrible. They are.
Yeah,
They actually try to do human characters, like in the Battle Beast world.
Yeah,
and they're. It's just like getting like an 80s generic Lego character with just like the yellow head and a hat.
The second they were like mini mates, like I'm so over mini mates. I was all in on mini mates when they're doing Ghostbuster stuff because I was so desperate for Ghostbuster stuff, but still wasn't great. Throwback Turtle, Street Sharks, and Supernaturals. Again, it was Visionaries or Supernaturals for me. I went with Visionaries, but I think Supernaturals 2 is really cool. One thing there is I think it's pretty reasonable to still buy those if you needed them. Even carded, they're not too expensive. Maybe that's changed recently, but until recently, it was too bad.
Still in the collector world, I think they're still at an affordable, $50 range for a carded figure. And Supernaturals, you might want to get carded because those arms break like crazy.
Even carded, they might be broken. Street Sharks would be great. I freaking love Street Sharks. I guess they did have a cartoon for Mighty Max, Chicken Yodel-like character voiced by the late Tony J. No. Master Blaster, never heard of Megaforce. Well, hopefully, Master Blaster, you are now informed. Collector Ace bet $10 that we would mention Centurions. Well, they're kind of re-releasing a Centurions, but I would agree. I would really love them to do Centurions.
Yeah. I think we've already talked about them on 2 shows for they need a re-release. So. Yeah.
But they do need to, 100%. 100%. D&D animated figures, absolutely. We still have never gotten those. That kind of relates to something we're going to talk very briefly in the news section. There's one big bit of news I did want to touch on. But yeah, LJ and Dungeons & Dragons would be awesome. I freaking love that line. But again, I have most of it, so I'm just being selfish. But it would be great if they did do it, no doubt about it. So anywho, they should release Big Wheels. Those were fun back in the day. Which one was Big Wheels? Why am I blanking?
Just a big wheel, like that you would ride.
They are re-releasing Big Wheels.
Get out.
Yeah, no, they're doing it because I almost bought. I'm probably gonna buy one to review on the channel.
For like, is there an adult size?
No, but adults can ride them. Have you seen my My Betty video? No, I'm kidding.
Does it still have like the seat that you it plugs in, just like the old big wheel where it like had 3 plugs so you could extend it for somebody taller?
The one I have is like a Spin Master, so it's a knockoff. But the true big wheel is apparently coming back. They're kind of pricey on whatever website Toy News I was shilling them on. But where is it at?
Oh wow.
But okay, so that's the normal big wheel, which is fine, whatever. But the one that I really wanted to buy, and they have the Fashion Girl big wheel. The Junior U.S. Army, don't care. Streamers, I still don't care. This one, the rally big wheel with the handbrake.
Oh yeah, so you can do some sick drifting.
Exactly. That's the one I want to get because I am a big child. And so I was like, okay, Toy News I'm in. I want a big wheel. Because I had a big wheel, but I never had the handbrake one. And I always wanted one. And I'm pretty sure my fat ass will break it.
You might just have to take the seat off and just hold on for life.
Yeah, you have to take the seat off. That's what I had to do that My Buddy commercial. But I want to like take it down a hill and just see if I can pull the brake.
Your driveway kind of goes down enough, right? Like you could
it does. Yeah, I have a good downward slope through the back.
And then just go towards the garage so that you have like a place to stop. Just pull the brake right before you hit the garage.
Or either down behind the garage towards where the playground is, which you saw in the My Buddy video, or there's one that goes like under the deck, which has a little more of a straightaway, but I can't really do the spin. But there's a pond off to the side. I could fall into the pond, which would not be great. So I don't know. It's dangerous no matter how I shake it, but I really want to buy one. But I guess it's on this toynk.com. But they're expensive though. So look at this. Like this one's $124, which that seems really pricey to me.
Wow.
So that's why I haven't pulled the trigger. I'm waiting to see if maybe it'll be somewhere else. Maybe it'll be on Amazon for $80 or something. Because 124 seems really high.
Yeah. Yeah. Although when you think about how much they probably cost in the 80s, it's probably low.
You think so?
You know, with inflation, yeah. I bet 124 is a good price if you compared it to the original big wheel cost with the handbrake.
Maybe. You're right. You're probably right. But I'm trying to save for the stupid, not stupid, it's cool, but the Super 7 Thunder Tank. Trying to put money aside for that. So dropping $124 on a big wheel that I'll probably use once and break.
Okay, so let's go back to our before conversation about the Thunder Tank. Where will you order it since you're saving for it?
If I'm saving for it with the intention to order from Super 7. That is the intention.
Okay.
Mainly because if I buy it from Super 7 first,
you'll get it faster.
I'll get it faster. And I'll be able to like open it up and do a video for it and everything. That's the idea. That's what I'm trying for anyway. I'm trying to clear out a lot of my extra junk around the house because I am backed up on just stuff because I haven't done a toy show in over a year. And my job's really busy. I don't have time to sell the stuff, but I'm trying to sell, clear out some space, put some money aside for the Thunder Tank, among other things. I don't know if I have the case for the big wheel. Anyway, last bit of news, just real quick, because I think it relates to all of this. And that is loyal subjects doing this line of like 5.5, 5-inch like articulated figures. And like one of my all-time like wish list toys they're doing. Has to be the first time we're getting a animated like Beetlejuice figures, right?
Yeah, outside of like the Burger King toys.
That's the only thing I could think of was the Burger King ones.
Yeah, because the toys that did get released, they're not so much animated. They're closer to movie. But like Beetlejuice and Otho are really the only characters.
Yeah.
Right?
They did Alan Baldwin's character on the original.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, because he's got his face is all stretched out.
Again, that's for the movie. It's a Michael Keaton Beetlejuice, which again, I love the movie as a kid. So I did like the toy line, but I also love the cartoon.
Yeah.
And it was one of those great misses that we never had cartoon Beetlejuice figures. And it looks great.
This looks. They look. I mean, it looks like we're looking at the cartoon,
right? I hope it turns out just as good as these renders.
Yeah. I'd be afraid of the joints because it's loyal subjects. The first few passes of the blind bag figures, years ago. I think they've gotten better, but I stopped buying loyal subjects because of broken joints. I assume this is going to be a little bit better, but because this is their first sort of run at a 5-inch figure, it might have some kinks in it, but I think still just them attempting this series is amazing.
Yeah, it's PD Dubs agrees those loyal subject figs are terrible, but I really want that Beetlejuice. I know. So I if I see it, I'm gonna buy it because it's the first time. I can't believe. When did that show air? 89, 90, 91? I can't believe it's the first time we're getting animated Beetlejuice figures. So hopefully it turns out okay. Old school show me. I wasn't really impressed when I saw the loyal subjects either. Big Trouble in Little China looked bad. They had Toonie Terror's Beetlejuice, but that not exact. But Toonie Terror's Beetlejuice was NECA, which I did see, but again, that's more of a Keaton Beetlejuice, and I have the Kenner figures for that, which I think are great. I love the Kenner Beetlejuice line.
Yep.
Oh, I really want an animated Beetlejuice. I freaking love that show as a kid. Love that show. Because it was such a funky animated show. Like it had animation, but it had the weird computer animated like commercials and stuff, like the TV shows. And when they would go to the other side, I don't know. It was. I haven't watched it in forever. I'd probably like to find that and watch it with the kids. Because I haven't watched it since I was a kid. But I just remember loving that show as a kid.
I don't really remember that much about it. I remember more so the intro than ever watching it. Watching the show itself. I kind of remember the intro, but not the show.
I remember one episode, I think because I had it on VHS, but it was one with Beetlejuice's skeletons in his closet, and he kept lying, and more skeletons were coming in his closet, and it was just really funny. But I don't know, I really dug that show. So again, there is a big grain of salt as loyal subjects, so that turns out. And for again, the NECA stuff is better than this for the Gremlins, so I don't really care about those so much, unless maybe the price is really cheap. The Kiss stuff is cool. But again, there's been really good Kiss figures. And the Turtle stuff. If you've watched my recent review of what Playmates is doing, they don't seem to give two craps about Turtles figures. So great that these are out here. But again, I think there's really good stuff there. So that's not as much a big deal to me, but still pretty neat. Pretty neat. All right, last bit of chat stuff here as we close things out. Let me stop my screen share. Let's see. Pop actor, I used to burn my eyes with a Viewmaster. Silverhawks are coming back. They are. It's like a old Super 7 Ultimates line, but I'm sure they could do a retro thing. But like to truly get the Kenner stuff back, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, with some nice vac metal on it.
Yep.
Although vac metal is still about the same technology as it used to be, it still flakes off.
Yep. Riley Bobby, I just got my kids in the animated Beetlejuice show. It looks like I'm getting some more toys again. We'll see. We'll see. Luis Marrero, never forget those renders for the first series. All of them ended up looking like Esh and had a lot of QC issues. That seems to be the case. Michael Miller, the Loyal Subjects have done other 5-inch figures. They're just not great. I know that it's true about the Loyal Subjects, but why is it that Loyal Subjects are the first people doing these Beetlejuice animated figures? Come on, NECA. Come on, somebody.
Yeah.
Take my money.
Maybe they've had the license for a while, to do 5 inches. And
maybe.
Who knows? Who knows what, why any of this happens?
Yeah, it's true. It's
really.
Rather, what kids nowadays are wanting Kiss and Ozzy figures? Kids still love Kiss. I know one of our mutual friend Keith, his son loves Kiss. My kids dug Kiss, and as I was a kid, I was younger than when Kiss had their heyday, and I loved Kiss. So I think there's something enduring about Kiss to kids. It must be the makeup or something. Just
Yeah.
the theatrics of it. So I do think that has Ozzy. I'm not so sure of. That's more for, I guess, the grown-ups. But Kiss, I do think, has like an enduring appeal to kids. But anywho, never had the pogo ball. The pogo ball, skip it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Bring them all back. I'm down for all of them. They need to do an animated Crypt Keeper from the Tales from the Crypt animated series. But they had a toy line. I thought that toy line animated Crypt Keeper looked pretty good, if I remember correctly. Right?
The Crypt Keeper looks the best out of the series. The Dracula is a terrible figure. And they're cheap. Like, check them out. You know, you can get a pretty decent Crypt Keeper cheap.
Cheap Crypt Keeper. Ozzy over Kiss. Musically, yes, I would agree. Ozzy over Kiss. But I think just in terms of a toy appeal, I think Kiss is a better toy. Pokeball is way better than absolutely. I feel like Pokeball is just an immediate, just freaking fall flat on your face.
Yeah. Pokeball came with a disclaimer: you will break your arm. There is no doubt about it.
Timothy Phillips, how about no retro, but companies actually making good new products? Hey, listen, I think there are good new products out there.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fun to bring out old stuff too. Again, especially me being a dad, like being able to share those with the kids is great. But even just being a collector, right, John, you're just a straight collector, and like that's fun too. Like I think you can have both. Why not both?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's tons of good stuff out there. Some of it's made by really small companies.
Yeah.
So it's just it's harder to get, you know, and there's so little on shelves today. The stuff is still out there. It's just there's more of us than there are toys now.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. All right. We are running long, so let's wrap this thing up. Luis, though, already has a picture for you next week.
Oh, boy.
So we'll have our first segment of Stump John. And if anybody else wants to try to, if there's just a toy or figure they've had forever and they just don't know what it is, take a picture, send it to geekdadlife@gmail.com. And next week we'll have a new segment on Toy Geeks to see if we can stump John. All right. That'll do it for this week's episode. We will see you all next Sunday. New episodes hitting the channel this week. Tuesday, I will finally post that Ecto 1, how to fix your Ecto 1 video. Other things happened during the week. Just push that one back, but it'll be ready to go. Be on the lookout for that. I will also do a kind of history of the original Kenner Ecto 1. And then Friday, Screen Geeks will not be on Thursday. We took last week off, and we're pushing it to Friday this week so that we can talk about the Snyder Cut Justice League movie, which drops on Thursday. We will not have enough time to watch it on Thursday to do it. So we're doing it Friday night at 9:00, Screen Geeks, and we're talking about the Snyder Cut. So be on the lookout for that. And again, if you haven't done already, hit subscribe. Click on that bell icon to be notified when the latest episode of Geek Dad Life drops, including Toy Geeks. And we'll see you all next time. Hasta luego and goodbye.